Well, as Team Rocket always says, prepare for trouble, make it double. Yeah.
We're ready.
Okay, we're going to convene our meeting, our executive session meeting at 6:03 p.m. Yes. Executive session, the board will convene an executive session pursuant to ORS 192.6602F to consider information or records that are exempt by law from public inspection. The executive session will not be open to the public. However, representatives of the news media and designated individuals will be allowed to attend the executive session. All other members of the audience will be asked to leave the room. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report on any of the deliberations during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the executive session as previously announced. No decision may be made in the executive session. So what I'm gonna ask you guys to do now is if you guys could wait in the lobby while we have our executive session, and then we will call you back.
And for those of you on Zoom, we're gonna just mute the audio and you're welcome to stay on until they resume the meeting.
Thank you.
Letting everybody know I'm not the person.
It's just your, it's just your.
Sure.
It was January 26th.
Three.
He said he was
Janelle, what time did you note that you convened back into open? 6:54. Thank you. Thanks, Frank.
We won't have it. But I'm not.
We want to go with you. What do you want me to do?
At the end of the year.
Yeah. It was good. So, you ready to start?
Yeah, ready. Yep, ready when you are.
Okay, so we're gonna bring us back into public session at 6:57 PM. So thank you guys for waiting and hanging out, waiting for us to shape that. Okay. So I guess we call this meeting to order.
Mhm.
And then we're gonna take a roll call. Like I said, you guys gotta bear with me. I'm new to this, so it's a learning curve. So I call myself
Yep.
chairperson. Okay, so our chairperson, me, Irby Dominguez, vice chair, Jean McCloskey. Can you
Here.
say your name? Okay, and then secretary treasurer Janelle Lewis,
President.
board member Rebecca Blejo.
Here.
Okay, and board member Frank Maynard.
Here.
So. Jump. Okay, I'm looking for a motion, but we are gonna make a change to our agenda.
I would like to move that we add a section between 4 and 5 prior to public comment to just give a summary or statement of our executive session.
I'll second that motion to make that minor change in the agenda.
Okay.
All those in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So I want to respond to the public. So I just want to acknowledge that we did receive, on June 26th, we did receive a complaint. So, and we got legal services to look at those complaints. We thought we should look at this. So we did do that. So we did receive legal advice on the complaint. And I want to also acknowledge that an ethics complaint has been filed against Courtney, our executive director. And what we're going to do is we agree that we will wait for the Oregon Ethics Commission, let them investigate this and let it run its course. And we'll see what their decision is. Okay. And we also, I do want to express that as a board, we are going to support our executive director. Okay. And we have made changes. This is where you want to speak. Well,
I think I'm good.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is the part where you're gonna
Yeah.
jump in, because you know. So,
Yeah. I
Okay,
just want to acknowledge one of the complaints was regarding, some policies and procedures that the board has been following as a group. Including practices and policies within this organization. I just want to, acknowledge that over the 10 years that I've been on this board, there have been significant, responses to complaints that have been made in the past about how we run our meetings, how we have our minutes, how we present them online, how much we put online as far as the meeting minutes, the recordings that we have compared to when I started on this board. There was only some written notes that were very brief, as far back as 10 years ago, and that progressed over time. In response to some of the complaints in the past with executive directors. I went to an SDO training, we didn't have the Pledge of Allegiance, we didn't even have a flag in the building, and we weren't in compliance with a lot of public organization meeting laws. And so there have been improvements there. We started having a little handheld recorder at meetings to record onto a little cassette tape thing that had to be downloaded. So there has been progression, and significant organization of policies related to that, public records that are in place that weren't, and that has continued to expand, with Courtney in the executive director position here, especially the policies and getting those dialed in based on multiple complaints that we've had over the years. And so I think there has been a lot of progress, and I think all of us as board members are trying to respond the best we can to the current complaints and continue to try to improve. It is hard when there is turnover of board members, so I've worked with a lot of really great people on this board over the years as well. But there was recently a law passed in 2023 that public boards have to attend training during sometime during their 4 years of public service on these boards. We are all volunteers. We are not in a paid position, and part of that is going to a training or having the training come to us through Special Districts Organization of Oregon. And so because we have quite a few new board members as a group, we're all going to be looking into whether or not SDAO will bring someone to us to provide an up-to-date training, since all of us need to go through that training as of the new law in 2023. Even though many of us have gone through multiple trainings prior to 2023, we have to redo that. And so we're all gonna be looking into that and reporting back on the next training that we receive. Back to you.
okay, so I guess this is the point that we open this up to public comment, correct? Okay, and I have one person who wants to speak. That's Sam Robinson. Okay. Started the timer, you have 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
No.
Hold on.
There's a letter that Janelle has that was submitted that needs to be read into the record too.
Oh,
Yes. You don't have to have the same.
Just at some point during visitor section.
Okay, ready, start.
No microphone. So, yeah. In fact, I'm glad to be the first one up here. Not to deal with all the emotional turmoil that was done in last month. So, just name for the record, my name is Sam Robinson. I am an employee of the MAC Recreation District. And I just want to acknowledge that the board of directors and the executive director have all been very helpful to me in the past, and I have seen a lot of positive things with the board, and I'm grateful for the supports that I have from the board and from the people around me. It's good to have a good network of people. So I just want to say I fully support the MACRD, and I fully support the board. All every board member, the executive director. I support what you guys are doing. And I'm in the impact that I've worked here for the last 5 or 6 years has made a positive impact. I'm now, and some positive news on my end, I did. My nonprofit is finally moving the gears of the nonprofit that I'm creating. Unity for Inclusion is moving forward. I'm finally getting the bank account to open, and I support the disability community. I'm a disability advocate, I'm a community member, and I'm a member of Kiwanis. And I'm grateful to be an employee of the MACRD. And I'm grateful for the supports that I have here. And you guys have been amazing. Really amazing. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Anybody else? So they have.
I have someone on Zoom that's interested in.
There's a whole staff. This, I read this first.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this was a letter received August 5th, 2025 for this meeting, public comment. I'm here today not out of frustration, but out of care for this facility, for our staff, and for our community. Let's be honest, the Madras Aquatic Center was built with good intentions, but no one could have predicted a global pandemic, record-breaking inflation, and the lasting effects of early mismanagement. These challenges have brought us to this point. Ignoring them only pushes us further from meaningful solutions. In 2011, this facility faced a $90,000 shortfall within a $700,000 budget. That shortfall came from rising utility bills, nearly $12,000 a month, slow economic growth, and an underperforming tax base. In response, the district made a difficult but necessary choices. Cutting hours, reducing staffing, and temporarily closing its doors. And here's the truth, doing the same thing over and over while expecting a different result, that's not leadership, that's insanity. And it's how history repeats itself. We've had 8 executive directors over the years, and we still struggle with operational consistency. But I see the district making a genuine effort to improve. I believe this facility should serve the public, but only if we can afford to keep it open. To be fully transparent, public pools do not make money. On average, they recover only 30 to 60% of their operating costs. If you don't believe me, Google it. The rest comes from taxes, grants, and community support. If we want to keep these services, we have to invest in them. If we can't, we have to make tough choices. It's no different than managing a household budget. This past season, I stepped up to coach the volleyball team and monitor the gym. Roles that weren't in my job description. I did it because I care. I showed up, gave it everything I had, and had a great time with the kids. Was I the best coach? Maybe not. But I was present, and I'm not the only one. Our staff go above and beyond every single day, not because they're required to, but because they believe in what this facility gives back to the community. Unfortunately, following the recent election, we lost land-based programming entirely. That's not just a line item, that's community impact gone. And it hurts. I was born and raised here. I grew up volunteering alongside neighbors at the fair, the air show, Relay for Life, and the College of Culture. I was taught that it takes a village not only to build a community, but to hold it accountable. And what I'm seeing now saddens me. It's okay to speak up. It's okay to disagree, but it has to be done with respect. Bullying has no place at any level. As it's often said, the louder you scream, the less you're heard. At some point, it stops being passion and just becomes noise. On a personal level, this uncertainty has taken its toll. I've taken on a second job just to stay in this field. I love what I do, but I'm constantly torn. Do I keep fighting for what I believe in, or do I protect my peace and walk away? Because quitting would be easier than being judged for where I work. But if I walk, what does that say about what we're trying to preserve? I want the pool open. I want programming restored. I want this organization to thrive. And I want a community that acts like a community, one that makes meaningful, makes thoughtful, informed, fact-based decisions, not just for today, but for our future. Peyton Kryla, your local loyal pool rep. Okay,
All right,
you're up.
okay, so we have Jeremy on Zoom for public comment.
Just a minute here. All right. So I want to address tonight real quick, financial liability the taxpayers of the MACRD have been exposed to since October 31st of 2023. So on April 26th of 23, the mechanical contractor that was performing the install for the grant purchased a permit, a mechanical permit. That's permit number 451-23-000-719-MECH. And this permit states that it was to add 3 AC units and IAQ purifiers to 3 air handlers. Okay. This permit was never finalized. On October 31st of 23, this permit expired with no inspections ever having been performed for this work. Both the contractor and the property owner are notified in writing and by email of pending expirations prior to the permit expiring. Oregon Structural Specialty Code in 105.5 addresses expired permits. And just to summarize, expired permits are treated as unpermitted work. And this places the taxpayers of this district under a large liability. Insurance companies do not insure losses from unpermitted work. So the insurance company for the building will most likely not cover any losses incurred to the building as a result of the HVAC system. So you could have a fire caused by one of your air handlers and the HVAC system has been modified and remains uninspected and unpermitted, and the district and the taxpayers could be stuck footing the bill for these losses. Not to mention, there's possible issues that may arise as it pertains to the building occupancy from the Building Codes Division and the State Fire Marshal regarding occupying a public building with an uninspected, unpermitted HVAC system. So this, in my opinion, this should be addressed immediately. The additional fees should be paid to reinstate this permit or open a new one and have the final inspection performed for this work. In the future, I'd recommend some checks be in place to ensure final payment is not made to a contractor until the final inspection has been completed. Due to the time that has passed, the district would now be responsible for footing the bill if any corrective action is needed. We hope there's no corrective action. We hope all the work was done up to code, but we just don't know that, and we won't know until we have a final inspection completed. We hope the county wouldn't come back and say, hey, you need to do additional work to make this all up to code and, up to their satisfaction, but we don't know that the county's not going to do that because there's been no final inspection completed for this work. So, I'd recommend holding final payment until you get the job finalized.
Thank
That
you,
way
sir.
the financial.
That's your 3 minutes, so thank you.
Okay.
Can you, yeah, we need to add. Jeremy, can you state your last name for the record?
Sorry, it's Nillis, N-I-L-L-E-S.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you get the spelling on that, Courtney?
Yeah.
What is it?
ALLIES.
No,
And
N-I-L-L-E-S.
NILES.
that's what I thought it was.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Right, next we have Mike Price.
So. I wanna apologize, I came down on you too hard last time. Oh. Okay, but I don't like this respect. And so I'm gonna start there. Some of the ideas and some of the things I've heard people saying that shaking their heads and not looking at the person who's talking and stuff is a big thing. But my real question here is, by cutting off all revenue, I have not seen numbers, but last time I said, we're losing our opportunity for revenue during the summer. And I heard us comment, I don't remember exactly who it was from, but that's when it's the most expensive to run this place. So I'd almost like to see numbers of, did we lose money last summer? Did we lose money last summer? Is that why we're shut down? Because we lost money in the summer last year? Or, the other part of it is that, what are the actual costs? I think the community needs to see where we're at, what money we need. Do we have to go for the whole $1.19 1,000? What do we need? How do we meet the community halfway? I want this place open. I like to use it. Okay. So it's again, working together, finding a can do instead of a can't do attitude. That's what America's supposed to be all about. Can do. And if we don't get the tax, so maybe, and I'm totally wrong, and you guys can come back to me in an email, not to waste everybody's time here, but we're still getting the 25 cents per thousand, we're still getting the 40 cents per thousand. And last year, that's all you had to run on, because the other money was supposed to go to the bond. So tell me why all of a sudden now we can't run, we can't even be open. And yet we have the same money. In fact, actually should be more, because more homes have come on to the tax rolls. And I don't know about anybody else, but my property taxes, my house value went up, not a huge amount, but it went up, so there's more money. That's, but I say, let's meet halfway.
Can I make a quick response?
Up to the board.
I'd love to meet with you outside of the meeting and we can answer those questions.
But why does it have to be outside the meeting?
Because there's a time frame, and right now it's public comment. Everybody gets their 3 comments. It's not a Q&A. But when you have concerns, I'd like to address it.
I think the Q&A would be a great, answering our questions would be fabulous instead of just listening to us and not responding.
A message from the board with answers to, I would actually like to see that, a message from the board answering these questions either through Facebook or even through the newspaper or whatever, so. Rather than just you and me, because I only have so much influence. But that would, like, again, you meet the community, you try instead of just, oh, we're not gonna do it.
Not just
We
that.
can't. No, let's meet halfway.
Well, some of those questions and concerns you had were addressed like through the budget process and how we went into this year with a deficit somewhere near $70,000, which affected why we had to close. So it's been hashed around, already, but would love to sit down and talk about it. Next one up.
Okay, Carrie, you're.
I like a broken record here, honest to God, I really do. I'm tired of having this conversation, if I'm being quite honest with you. I'm here today because enough is enough. This community has been lied to repeatedly by this executive director, and it's become a pattern. And you, the board, have allowed it. None of you question her. Jean, you are so close. Sometimes you do, but the rest of you just sit silent. You've misled the public, withheld information, hidden behind closed door meetings instead of being transparent. She has been here 5 years. What has she done to move the district forward? Anybody? What have we done? For the pool, for the rec programs, for the people. The answer speaks for itself, and it's not progress. To the board, my disappointment in all of you, look at me when I speak, please. Yes.
Am I not allowed to take notes?
When someone's speaking, you look at them. Janelle, with all due respect, I respect your time on this board, but I really do think it's time to move on. With all due respect to you. Every time you allow her to twist the truth or bury it, you break the trust of this community, and that trust is now gone. None of us trust any of you. We are tired of the lies, we are tired of the evasiveness, and we are tired of leadership acting like the public won't notice or won't care. We do notice and we do care, and we will not stop until there is real accountability and real change. If you cannot lead with honesty, integrity, transparency, step down. You cannot put the public's interest above your own, step down. Because of this facility belongs to us, the community, and the community is done being deceived.
Here. Michelle. Michelle Boynton.
I just want to address the board and, let you guys know I'm super disappointed. I'm disappointed that the way that you guys allow her to do this. I mean, last meeting, she spent $3,000 on a camera that nobody knew about. How many lifeguards would that have covered? How many lifeguards? I mean, I guarantee you a lifeguard's not making $3,000 a month here. 3,600 a month for a lifeguard?
No, the camera.
Yeah, for the camera. And she's making these purchases without your guys' knowledge. We all heard you last week or last meeting. It's really, and some of the things that that are going on, you know, spending money frivolously, not opening. How much money did the school district pay for the summer for their team to be able to swim? We know they're having practices. How much are they paying? That would be a great Q&A if anybody would like to let us know. Since the pool's full, it's treated, it's at temperature, the school district is using it, but nobody else can. Who's paying for that? Besides our 25-cent and 40-cent per $1,000. Because I know a lot of kids and families and elderly would love to be using this pool and paying. So I want to know who's paying for this to be going this summer while the school district's using it. Because if it's the school district, we're paying for them too.
We are.
We are.
Vanessa.
My name is Vanessa, and I'm here to speak about the mold issue. The problem with mold is that it spreads when ignored, kind of like the misinformation that we're getting from the district. The district told the public there was mold via Facebook and several meeting recordings. They posted pictures. In a meeting, they said they covered it right away with kills that they got from ACE. Several times, board members called it black mold. The public started asking questions, at which time the executive director backtracked, saying that it had been tested by the health department and that it was not toxic mold. But when we asked for proof, all they had were a couple of old emails from 2019. No lab reports, no testing. Yet they told the public it was tested. There's screenshots. It's totally said it was tested. That's not a mistake. That's a lie. And it's not the first lie. And that's not the first lie. We have seen this pattern before. This isn't just about mold. It's a pattern of trust. If they misled the public about a health hazard, what else are they hiding?
Okay. Vicky Johnson.
My name is Vicki Johnson, I'm a citizen. I hear that the board has decided to let the complaints, see the complaints through and to support the executive director. My concern, part of my concern involves some of the issues that happen. Like some of the issues that occurred involved they weren't complicated, they just involved basic honesty and integrity. I'm a social worker. And ethics are drummed into us from day one. And are an integral part of every decision we make, every piece of paper we sign, every discussion we have. And it doesn't seem, I mean, even though there's an organization that you're answering to. Ethics are also need to be a part of just your DNA. Your daily thing, like everything that you do. I understand that you called in a lawyer to answer the complaints, deal with the complaints. It's also my understanding that you don't have a lawyer as a part of the organization as a whole, and haven't had for a while. And that's very concerning. And that the board members can be held liable. Even if the organization itself, has a structure of LLC or whatever it is, a good lawyer can get around that. Once they know that there's been no lawyer and that there's been false documentation, which it sounds like there has been. And I'm wondering, has an outside audit been conducted? An outside audit with no relationship to anybody here. And if it has been, and or when it is done, could the results be made public? And I listened to the recording of Ms. Speed discussing the salary. And obviously you can feel however you want to feel about what you get paid. We all have those feelings about what we get paid. But my comment is more towards the idea that you knew you were being taped. And your tone reeked of contempt for the people in the room with you, because I could hear them say, you're putting us in a really bad position. Anger is one thing, contempt is another. Leadership is about many things, but it is about keeping in mind who you are serving, and that when the mic is on, at least pretend to have respect for the people you work with and for.
Thank you, Vicky. Christiane.
Hello, my name is Christy Abbey, and first of all, thank you for doing some of the things that you have done in response to what people have asked for, your room set up better. Thank you for changing that right now, because I was about to ask if we could see who is on Zoom, because I think that's important to be able to see people when they're speaking. I don't know if Jeremy was on, but I think it's important that we can see people, and I thank you for that. And I just would like to see responsiveness like this on some of these other questions. And there's just a whole lot that is wrong, which I think we all know, but I don't think we have to have meeting after meeting that's contentious if there's some movement going forward. And I am frustrated that I cannot take my grandchildren to the pool if they come down to visit. And I'm frustrated that nobody is able to use the pool other than now I hear that the school can. So anyway, I am frustrated about our taxpayer dollars and us being locked out of it. And I just don't like that. And I don't think it's fair to our community. And on another note, I'm a Metole city councilor. And when it came to us, the resolution of saying that we believe this is good for our community, I had to abstain from that vote because I could not personally say that I thought the way it was set up, that was going to be good for the community. If it would have said, I would like the community to vote, the taxpayers to vote, I could have 100% said that, but I couldn't in good conscience say, I feel this is good for the community, because I had a lot of reservations about a forever tax payment. And so I just think we need something more on a smaller scale and see, you know, have a business plan. It's like, it looks like the business plan right now is get more money from people and see if we can do something. And we all know that doesn't work. So anyway, thank you for the changes that you're making, and I hope that going forward, we can have more working together.
Thank you, Kristen. I don't have a last name here, Misha?
So this is my first meeting. I haven't been involved with a lot of people, but I heard,
Can you state your last name for the record?
oh, Kubo, Kubo.
Thank you.
Alright. Being over, won't do some of course. But, anyway, from the concerns that I've heard recently today, it just seems like this swimming pool is the biggest thing for the kids out here in Padres. Knowing that there's a swimming pool and there's additional activities that can be run or going on, helps our children be directed toward more positive, uplifting activities rather than trying to find trouble and it's just sad that our swimming pool is closed. I do agree with the fella and Carrie, and I second what they shared, their concerns, what's important. And I do think it's important that we have as many school age, like even kids club, to give kids opportunities to really engage in something that's promoting confidence and good health. And I hope that there can be something the school, or not school board, the board here, and these great people from the community that also care, have a great love for this community. I hope that we can all, find some calm down to get something worked out. Meets everybody's needs. I know people with disability, I've worked in physical therapy for 9 years, and I also worked in the school district for 6, and I now work in the health industry again as an in-home caregiver and med aid person. And many of my clients look forward to the pool because they don't have anything outside of their own home, especially if they have family that's far away. So again, the swimming pool offers another positive for the older people as well, and people that have disabilities. It gives them that sense that they belong, that they have something to offer, that they can develop their talents and do something that's fun. And so I think it's a good thing to try to fix this, and whatever it takes to bring the monies together to keep the pool open so that everybody can benefit well. Yeah.
Thank you. Person. Yes.
I want to kind of reiterate what you were saying, Christy, about just the positives. You did do a lot of nice things for tonight's meeting. But, with all due respect, I would just love to see you step down, all of you, because I know it sounds really mean. I've lived in this community since 1977, and I just think too much. I think too much has happened. I don't know that people are going to be able to get over it, get past it. You've done things, but you haven't done things. And closing the pool, I can't get over it. I can't even get past that. So, I just wish you would all get over yourselves. I hate to be rude. I don't mean to be rude. Step aside and let somebody else try to fix it, because whatever you guys are trying, it isn't working. And I just think it's time to do something different. And if that means, change it up from the get-go, then do it. Because it's not working. Thank you.
Thank you. Sheila, Bobby.
My name's Sheila Fabian. I'm a local here. I'm supporting the people that are working that can't make it. I'm speaking for some of them, other people that have been pretty much X'd out and people that aren't part of groups, specialty groups or groups, like the working class people, in my opinion, that haven't been able to come out. And when I have called, it's been shut down or something because of short staffing. But I don't remember your name here, the one that's writing right now. And I don't know you personally or anything, so don't take it personally. But I feel like you were just making excuses. I attended the last meeting. There was something up all the way against this window here where I couldn't even see the flag. So when you're talking about trainings and stuff like that, that's pretty much excuses. There's excuses after excuses. Like I don't understand what the holdup is. Like people shooting people down before they've even talked. So I don't remember your name with the glasses there. I'm sorry.
Jane
Because I can't read. I can't read. But you brought up some ideas and you were shot down right away last meeting. And I feel like my mom was just saying, you guys have a negative attitude. People try to bring up ideas and you shoot them down. Your idea was the big screen TV and getting rid of the instructor to save some money, whatever it takes to save money. And I mean, like that TV out there that you have on right now. I mean, hello, why is that on? We need to be saving money. If it's a crisis where we can't use the pool and everybody wants to use the pool, I mean, that's common sense, isn't it? I mean, so I'm just very disappointed, and I agree with my mom and quite a few people in here that just, if you could just start fresh or get some ideas or get somebody, and like they were all saying, actually answer questions to people, not just specific people, but people that, you know, people are asking all kinds of questions and only certain people get answers and things like that too, which isn't right. So I just feel like if you guys could just, like they were saying, reconsider or come up with some other ideas or something, that's what I would hope that would happen. Thank you.
Do your job.
I don't know, I stand.
Okay.
Trudy Haugen, I just want to be here on public record to say my role with coming to these meetings is not as a former employee. I don't know where that came from. The newspaper, every time they come to a meeting, that's what they want to broadcast. They always broadcast me as the negative one. I'm here as a taxpayer. And I'm a taxpayer that isn't very happy about what's going on here. I'm not happy about the board members saying, write an email and not letting someone speak, and they write an email and nobody responds. What is your policy on emails? Do you, I mean, I have heard of 2 community members that have not received any communication back from emails. So I guess if there's a reason why certain community members are not going to be emailed back, then we need to let them know.
Under the bed.
Also, as far as for transparency, if you really want to be transparent, put your board packets up with your minutes, put your agenda, put your financials, keep them up, all of them. If you want to be transparent, it doesn't do any good to read
have light underneath there. You just press it.
handouts that were given at the time.
How about that?
Here we have an agenda. We have no handouts. So you guys have your meeting. We can see what's on the screen, but we don't have financials. We don't have anything in writing about what you're reviewing. So if you want to be transparent, then start there. That way we can review those things. We don't have to ask for a records release to do so. We can, everything is transparent from month to month to month to month. There's no secrets. It's just all there. Huge. It's very important that happens. I believe, let's just be transparent. I'm not a pool hater. I came here a year ago and told you guys, you come up with something I can support and I will back you.
there's nothing I've been able to back. And all of the misinformation that you think, I mean, the big thing, the ED wages and that 10-year comparison thing, you lost me. When I can't dig in your records and find the things you're saying, I can't back you. And I'm glad you can back the ED, but I would hope that someday you can back the no community members as much as you do your ED.
Thank you, Trudy.
But Trudy, I just want to clarify, you're not able to access the board packet online?
No, only they go down.
Just the minutes.
Yeah, right before the meeting, but the only thing that goes up with the minutes is the minutes. There's no agenda with the minutes. There's no financial, there's no things that were handed out, and just the minutes.
Typically, I'm just gonna speak for myself, I get an email from Courtney saying the board packets and agenda are on the website, and that's how I access them. And that typically isn't up until, if our meeting's on Wednesday, usually Friday, they're posted up there.
But then they're gone after the meeting. Yeah, so they don't go back on, and then we record request them, they go away.
The board
And they could
packet
be
goes
easily
away.
added with a minute, so that you can transparently look at the financials and everything, but we have to do a public records request just to look at last month, look at it.
No, that's easy, it's easily fixed, so
It is.
I can go on and do that.
And you shouldn't have to go to a training. I'm sorry, you want me to correct you?
So I guess I wasn't aware, I just assumed they stayed up there, 'cause that's how I access it all the time.
It's up there until the day after the meeting, and then it's taken down, and part of it was just trying to keep the website tight, but we can add that stuff back in. It's
Add a
easy.
separate link for, information.
Yeah, well, we just put it down with we can put it down with the minutes.
It's just the same thing with the minutes. It's
For
just
like-
extremely transparent,
Mhm.
and it's just so transparent. It's just a wonderful thing, I think. It could be.
Yeah, for somebody that missed the meeting that might wanna know what it's about.
Thank you, guys. Let me speak on the email part. I've tried to access my emails. Courtney's tried to help me with my emails. I don't know what's going on. That's why if people message me there, send me an email. I don't get it. I'm working on it. Even my IT department at Brightwood is trying to help me with my emails. I'm not really tech savvy. So I have given my personal email and I have given my work email. So questions, guys, if you want a Q&A, that sounds awesome. Send me your questions. Okay, and like I said, I put mine on with,
Pardon me,
I don't always ignore you. I do read. But
you didn't answer me.
I do. Some of them I don't know the answer to. So like I said, I'm really new at this.
There's lots of
I do
answers
not
to that
know. So,
question, so I'd love to know the truth.
okay. Thank you, Trudy. Cora. Cora Holloway.
Cora Hollyman. Yeah, I was contemplating this morning what I was gonna tell you guys today, and I came to the realization that it doesn't matter what I say, how perfectly crafted I tell you anything, because if you are not gonna listen, then you're not gonna listen. You received a letter at the end of June, and you didn't do anything about it until we filed an ethics complaint. As the board of directors, you should be concerned way more with the things that are in Oregon's law that you have to follow as a public employee. Your standards should be way higher than what the law covers. Are you elected to represent us? Why are you here? Are you elected to represent her? You shouldn't have to go to a public training to know that we should be able to be transparent. I shouldn't be getting emails from Frank asking if I have legal representation. I pay for this building in my taxes. Why should I also have to pay for a lawyer to communicate with you guys? That's really awful. Like, why is the board unable to bridge the gap between the concerned community members, and there's a lot of reason for concern, and your failing management? There's so much. I mean, it's like the truth is not anywhere. There's, from the way that we talk about the
measures, to the way that we answer our records requests, to the things that we say in the public meetings, we can't tell the truth. And it's a problem. And it's not a problem for the Ethics Commission. You guys are the board of directors, you're elected officials. You're supposed to direct that. We shouldn't have to say, hey, I shouldn't have to point out to you. I came to a meeting last week or last month and I handed you public records and you have a recording of this woman openly lying in a public meeting. Yeah. And you're gonna wait for an investigation, Irby? Come on. This is our tax money. The pool is closed. I don't understand it. It shouldn't be the burden of, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Okay, I have 3 kids and I'm doing research in Oregon statutes so that I can file an ethics complaint because you people want to do your job. Come on. It's ridiculous the amount of time that people have to waste for this. And everywhere I go, I'm thanked. Because for every one of us, there's 5 more people who work at the school, the city, in local government, and they're afraid to say anything publicly. I will not pretend to understand the political web of this town, and I truly do not care. But you guys should be worried about why that is.
Yes.
Less severe. Wider.
That's this, you want me to know, right?
Okay.
Okay. Good. I think you must have taken this to the commissioners. My name is Les Widener and I reside, I don't know if I made this address. I currently serve on the Madras Redevelopment Commission. I'm the board secretary for the Madras Community Food Pantry. Last year, county commissioners voted to approve $350,000 for the purchase of a new home for the food pantry. And you did this because you understand the value of the pantry's mission, and we greatly, greatly appreciate you. This is why I believe you also understand the value of the Madras Aquatic Center, because exercise and recreation are just as vital to our health as nutrition. We all know that as a result of the failed referendum in May, the MAC had to close for the summer because it lost the portion of funds it was receiving to pay on its bond. Now, without those funds, the MAC isn't able to cover the cost of equipment preventative maintenance as well as unforeseen equipment repairs. As I understand it, the MAC has asked the county to rescue it with financial support, but your decision hasn't been finalized. I'd like to make the following suggestion: that commissioners approve and establish a MAC maintenance escrow trust. With something like this, you would administer it and county funds would only be used when an invoice from the MAC is presented for payment. The county administrator would oversee it, but most of all, it would provide the MAC with meaningful financial relief. MAC Director Sneed acknowledges that even with financial help from the county, financial challenges will remain, but they won't be nearly as dire. This is because with a committed maintenance escrow fund, any MAC grant applications for ongoing operating expenses would be greatly strengthened. In closing, I urge commissioners to look upon the MAC as it has the Madras Food Pantry and support the health and well-being of our community by considering and approving this request. The MAC needs us and we need the MAC. Thank you.
Do we have anybody from Zoom? Are they speaking to that? Yeah,
I was gonna say, nobody should say, nobody, is there anyone else on Zoom that would like to speak?
Susan.
Judy Lundy wants to speak.
Julie.
So Julie
Okay.
Lundy.
Julie, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I don't do this very often. Okay, so I have a question on item 7 on the agenda. And I know you aren't there yet, but I don't know if there's room for public questions or comments after that has been discussed. So do you want me to ask my question or my point now, or do you want to wait?
Now, please, Julie,
I'm sorry, what?
go ahead. Read it.
Okay.
Yes, yes, please.
So I'm looking through all the paperwork I printed off the website. So item 7 is talking about, for those that don't know, discussing replacing the domestic water heater. And I just want to point this out. I don't know that I don't know what the answer is, but I'm irritated that in November of 2024, you guys received one quote from someone. I don't know who. Does anyone on the board know who that was? What company quoted 39,550?
It was BC Mechanical.
Okay, thank you. So now, because we are 6, 7, 8 months into it, or no, 9 past that date, you requested more quotes. So in the meantime, BC Mechanical, who is a Madras business and actually has a lot to do with the new county courthouse, he's the only one that knows how to operate what goes on as far as the heating and cooling in that building. And he's local. So from this point, their quote has gone up $5,000, and they're not even an option on item 7. And I'm wondering why you decided to go with a plumbing company in Bend who's charging about $2,000 more for the same job. That's all. I mean, we are in crisis for money, so $2,000 in my budget would help out immensely. All right, now I'm done.
Thank you, Julie.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone else on Zoom that would like to speak? Doesn't look like it.
Okay. So we just close the public comment.
Then you just go to the next.
I would like to.
Oh.
I did.
Oh,
Like-
I need to see it here.
Look through that list, or be, they can write yes on.
Oh, okay.
Susan, are you saying that you wanted to speak? Can't tell who.
Yes, it says it.
Susan wants to speak.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead, Susan. I'm sorry.
And Susan gets 6 minutes.
I got it.
Okay. Whenever you're ready, Susan. And that is Susan Kovar.
Okay.
Susan, we can't hear you.
That reception will remember.
Sorry, Susan, we're going in and out. We can't hear you.
Did you type it in chat?
Good coverage. We're kind of off the grid.
Yeah, it's going in and out.
Can you hear me now?
Right
Yes.
now we can, Susan.
Are you able to? Okay. All right. I'll make it real brief. Got a couple questions. I would like to know about Sky Lakes Energy. I would like to know about Chris Toman. And I would like to know about the pro bono professional advice that he's providing to the MAC. And I would also like to know if he's licensed as a professional engineer.
Your
internet's freezing.
Yeah.
Yeah, does it say you're frozen?
Yep, you're freezing, Susan.
We can't hear you.
Okay, you can't hear me.
Can you hear me now?
Mhm.
Yes.
Let me try to go outside. Hang on. I might have better.
I can't even hear the board members.
Hold on. I'm going to go outside. I don't know. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Seems a little better. Yes.
Okay. So I just have a couple questions for the board. Knowing that you guys are taking pro bono advice from Sky Lakes Energy, aka Chris Toman, can you confirm whether he is a licensed professional engineer in the state of Oregon for me? Janelle?
Yeah, he's licensed and has an LLC and a business office in Madras downtown.
No, is he licensed as a professional engineer in the state of Oregon?
Yes.
It's not about a business license. Because he's not. No, he is not.
Oregon.
Janelle, you need to provide the evidence to the board before you continue to take advice for the MAC, pro bono, I don't care, from Sky Lakes Energy. He is not licensed as a professional engineer in the state of Oregon. And so let's talk about that. Shall we?
Listen, we are listening to you. Go ahead.
Good, Chris. Let's answer that question. Take the reciprocal exam like every other engineer has to do for the state of Oregon. If you're licensed in Illinois, then get licensed in Oregon, but you cannot advise the MAC Center on anything unless you're licensed in the state of Oregon, period. So let's answer the question. Are you licensed in the state of Oregon as a professional engineer? Because I can't find your license anywhere. I hear crickets. I hear crickets.
Well, we're trying to figure out what you're saying, Susan.
I'm asking because excuse me.
Let me talk for a second. Chris is not here.
Well, I don't care. Well, I thought you said he was. Somebody's answering for him.
No,
Okay, I just thought. Okay, I can't hear very well. I apologize.
Okay.
But I think that needs to be investigated, and I think that the MAC is actually riding a fine line, taking any professional advisement under someone who's not licensed in the state of Oregon. It doesn't matter if it's pro bono. It's illegal.
Okay.
I'm just so tired of this. So I'm done. That was my topic. We'll have a good one next time.
Okay. Thank you, Susan.
You're welcome. It's been fun.
I see your name. Yes, sir. Yes.
Hi, I'm Scott Taylor, and I am the chair of Friends of the MACRD, also led campaign the last.
Oh my God, that was so fun.
Anyway, what I'd like to address is future, and that is regarding the scheduling things that are coming up for this evening. And I would just like to say on my own behalf, not on Friends of MACRD, but on my own behalf, that I would really like to see you guys support the budget option A. And the budget option A that includes the time for Madras High School swim teams and as well as the Madras swim. I think those things are really, really important. Certainly there with the youth thing, we've had enough issues in terms of what was happening with the recreation teams. So wherever we can find something, keep those kids engaged in there, keep those programs going. That would be my concern. If people fall by the wayside, and I think that would be a cost for community. Kids do use pool. One of the things too that I want to address with the folks from the wave and such like that, I think certainly everyone's entitled to come and ask the public board questions and things that you want to know about. So, but I think also to be a really good voter and to be an informed voter, you need to do some research on your own as well.
We know what the word permanent.
I mean, that's exactly where I'm going, is on the permanent thing. I think there's a great misunderstanding on the part of a lot of people of what the permanent tax rate is and how it comes about. It was never designed to be a mother lode for the public agency. Actually, it was birthed out of Measure 5 and out of Measure 45 in the mid-1990s. The reason they have, the state of Oregon chose to go that way with a permanent levy, and something that you should look into, was not to enrich the local entities. It was to constrain them in terms of being able to add additional funds. The permanent rate is exactly that. It's permanent forever. And so when it starts out, it should be sufficient to pay for at least the foreseeable funding that needs to happen. Because as you go forward with inflation, couple of years, 3 years or so, that money is great.
Frank's the one that doesn't know what a permanent tax is, so turn around and speak to
Like I said, well, I think that I mean, if you're talking about Gene, you won't find anybody in the county that's more knowledgeable about taxes.
Frank is the one that argued with us about the permanent taxes. So you can talk to Frank about what permanent is.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah. We have one more. Yep. One more, Mr. Flowers, Paul Flowers.
I have a lot to say, but I guess. But I have, everybody's telling all the reasons why we ought to have this. And nobody's figured out who's been paid for it. And they all look at somebody's gonna have to pay for it, and I don't have to pay for it. I want to pay for it. Do they want the landowners, do they want them to pay for it? Well, we're having a hard time on the land. So in the meantime, I've had a really interesting thought. Rather than I couldn't swim here, so I've been going to Farmville. And you know, they watch your costs pretty closely there. And they have, they work with the children, they have pretty strange kind things for the children, and they do a lot of things. I'm surprised they wash it, they clean it, and take care of it. It's not a new one, it's not like this, but you know what they do? They figured out who's gonna pay for it. And they don't have any, there's a lot of people working there, but I don't think that you too high paid people there. And it seems to work, you know, I see them, do they care about it? Yes, they paid it, they take care of it, and it doesn't cost them a lot of money, but I think the problem is that we can, when the city, I think city has said, we don't want to be part of it, the county said, we don't want to be part of it. So, you must be more than everybody else, because they're looking at all the sense by how it can work.
Thank you, Paul. So, I don't think there's anybody else, so we're gonna close our public comments. Oh. Would anybody else like to speak?
Can I ask a question that I think we all have?
Give me 1 second.
Nobody on Zoom.
Okay, nobody on Zoom, so yes, Carrie.
Why does Courtney take minutes by hand when this is recorded? Wouldn't that be the secretary's job? And I feel like Courtney needs to be present in these, like present. Not looking at a notepad, right? Present.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you for that comment.
To the people who pay for salary.
Thank you for that comment.
We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to item number 7. Oh, I thought we had.
Well, it's item 6 on our agenda. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay.
Hey, graduation, Matt. Big graduation. Okay, item 7, consider approving the Magic Aquatic Center hours of operation for September 28th, 2025 to February 21st, 2026.
So board members, in your packet, you have a cover memo with information related to proposed hours of operation beginning September 28th through February 21st. We discussed this at our last board work session, and the board gave some direction to staff on how to bring forth a couple of options for you at this meeting. One of the requests was to try and be open a couple nights a week past 6 o'clock to try and have hours available for folks after work. And then there was also some direction given about during the swim team season, trying to maintain at least one open swim during the week rather than going to a Monday through Friday, trying to go to a Tuesday through Saturday. So the day after the meeting, staff workshopped some options for you to consider. And the staff unanimously would like the board to consider adopting option A, which is a pretty aggressive schedule given that our budget includes 15 hours operating per week. But the staff feels like it's worth kind of putting it all out there. And then if the revenues and the participation doesn't materialize during that time, then we would bring back a reduced schedule for spring. If the revenues and the participation does materialize, then hopefully we'd be able to continue doing the option A, September 28th through November 15th schedule during the spring. So revised option A includes being open 27 hours a week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It includes morning offerings from 7:30 to 12:30, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Open swims on Saturday and Sunday, and evening operations on Wednesday and Friday from 4 to 7. And that is during that September 28th to November 15th time period before swim team season starts. The high school swim team season starts November 16th and goes through February 21st. And so option A has the schedule moving to being open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Tuesday is really only for that 3:30 to 5 o'clock swim team practice. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is that 7:30 to 12:30 in the morning, and 5 to 7 on Wednesdays and Fridays. And then the 3 to 6 open swim on Saturdays. And so that gets us to 28 hours of operations for the months of November to February. Staff also talked about trying to offer no school days open swims from 1 to 3, like we had done in the past. All of that is sort of contingent on us having the staff available to do that. It could be that we offer an open swim, and if we only have 3 lifeguards, that we max out at 80 and don't turn the slide on in that scenario. To have 80 plus the slide on, we need 5 lifeguards. And so it'll just be having the understanding that we'll continue to meet all of the expectations for safety and American Red Cross certification and the OHA rules around operating an aquatics facility, and continue to offer all of the programs and services that are listed in that option A. The revised option B is closer to what's budgeted at 16 to 17 hours a week. And it tries to meet the needs of all of our different stakeholders with some morning time and some evening time, and then those Saturday and Sunday open swims. And that it's just a little bit, it's more restrictive than the revised option A. And then revised option B during swim team season is essentially the same thing, just that 10:30 to 12:30, 2 mornings a week, being open for swim team practices 3:30 to 5, and then 5 to 7, 2 nights a week. And that gets us to that 17 hours a week of operations. Up in your cover memo, we looked at the financial impacts and really just wanted to show that right now with our adopted budget at 15 hours a week, we are utilizing $167,900 of subsidy, which is generally property taxes, or in other types of programs, it could be sponsorships or grants. When you look at option A, because we bring in more revenue, we actually see a move in the positive direction of the use of subsidy by about $7,900. And with option B, again, you see a move to the positive about $2,000. So ultimately, when we looked at all this as a team, we felt option A was what we wanted to recommend. You have 6 existing staff members of the district, and we all unanimously support option A.
The 27 to 28 hours.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys can make it work.
We can make it work. We'll have to bring back some seasonals to help backfill. We know that if we have any staff out sick and vacations, it could get a little tricky. The goal is that staff only wear 2 hats at a time. We've had times in the natatorium where Peyton will be wearing 4 different hats, and it's really hard to manage that. And so we're really trying to help everyone do their job with only 2 hats on at a time when we're open in the natatorium. So it could get a little tricky, but we're thinking if we can bring back 4 to 6 seasonals, depending on their sports schedules and after school activities and all of that, we should be able to make the schedule work. And then if it's easier for folks to look at it, not in summary, but in a more weekly visual,
Courtney,
this is in the packet as well.
I've probably asked this before, but what's the difference between a family time swim and opens? I'm just not clear on that.
Yeah, so open swim means that the slide, the diving board, and the rope swing are open, as well as the toys that spout water in the zero depth entry part of the leisure pool. Family time is intended to be quieter to some extent because we don't turn the toys on and it's not as busy crazy. And then usually it's going on when we have lap swim and other things happening in the big pool, and so the attractions aren't available during family time.
But everybody's welcome to come swim.
Yes, yes. It's just understanding that it's not going to be the same experience as it is during an open swim when the attractions are in use.
Did any of this involve any of the classes? So unfortunately, again, it's not Q&A. This is the board's chance to discuss. So I see we've offered, I'm going to beat the horn again about fitness classes. Is this 2 out 4? When you put fitness classes in here from 4 to 7, is that a 1 hour fitness class that happens at 4, or what is it?
So fitness class does not happen that whole time period. Typically, I think our fitness classes are 45 minutes, and we're looking at offering, I think what our instructor wants to do is a 45-minute strength and conditioning class in this room with weights and stuff, and then 45 minutes in the water in the evenings.
So have we had evening fitness classes in the past?
We've had land-based classes, not in the pool, but in here doing strength and conditioning.
And do you have something that would tell us how well attended those have been?
So on average, our aquatics classes are a little bit more well attended. So I would say, I think we looked at the data and it was somewhere between 8 and 12 on average in the aquatics classes in the mornings. We haven't really done them in the evenings, so we don't really have good numbers for that for aquatics, for evening classes. And then for the strength and conditioning classes, I'm not sure how well attended they've been. We require pre-registration for those because if nobody shows up, then it's silly to have staff here. So for the ones that we've had when the building is closed, they've been pre-registration required, and there's been anywhere from 3 to 5 people that come to those.
One of your clients, I can speak personally, yeah, definitely closer to 12, 15 lives.
Really picked up in the spring.
Could we, instead of having fitness classes listed in there, have some family swim time?
For the mornings?
No.
Or for
that evening shift?
For the Wednesday and Friday?
4 to 7.
So depending on swim lessons, yes. So usually the way that we schedule swim lessons is they're 2 days a week for 2 weeks, and then we have a break week. And then we would offer family swim time during that break week, because when we have swim lessons happening, they happen in the same part of the leisure pool that the families would be using. So we try and open those up when we can, when we don't have other programming happening.
What do you mean, like 4 to 6? We shadow off and then 6 to 7. Something, because we all know that the parents that work, their only opportunity to come in the evenings with their kids is during that time slot. And I'm big on fitness. I like fitness, but I just really feel we need to have the pool open for. I really do. I just been speaking to a lot of people who are retired and elderly and have physical issues that really rely on flat classes. There are some clubs. Right, absolutely. And if I understood right, we haven't had a club exactly strong enough to do that early in the evening shift.
One of the other things we tried a couple years ago was doing splashdowns, where you would have swim team practicing in the big pool, and then we would turn the slide on and have kind of like a mini open swim just in the leisure pool. And we got a lot of complaints when we did that. And I'm not sure if it's because we didn't explain what a splashdown was well enough, or if it was confusing. But a lot of folks that came wanted to use the diving board and the rope swing, and it wasn't part of it. So that's something that we could look at bringing back. And then the other thing too is when we get to swim team season, the high school swim team will practice Tuesday through Friday, but the youth Madras swim team will practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we'll have 3 lanes available on Friday nights for lap swim, potentially for independent workout. And then if it's a Friday when we don't have swim lessons, we could do a splashdown type activity. It's all for that. It all comes down to staffing and how many lifeguards we can have on deck.
Can you clarify the difference between the Madras high school swim team that's funded by the school district versus the Madras swim team? And like, why did you put them use this pool?
Yeah, so Madras high school swim team uses the pool from November to February. That's when the OSAA swim season is for high school. So that's the high school swim team.
Okay.
There's a nonprofit organization that's managed by a separate board of directors called the Madras Swim Team. And they the last year or two, they've had a season in the winter and the summer. And so their winter and summer seasons are intended to help build a pipeline for swimmers from getting out of swim lessons to junior swim team and then up to that more competitive club team, which is that Madras swim team group. And they practice during high school swim team season so that the kids that are in that team can see the high school kids, and it kind of creates that pipeline. And then they practice in the summer. And they have a partnership agreement with the district, and they pay fees for using the facility just like the high school does.
The all swim teams are generally out at 5, correct?
Yes.
So when I look at that 5 to 7 block, maybe there could even just be 1 hour that's dedicated from 6 to 7. A 1 hour swim is a family swim, not with the toys where we have to have the 2 extra lifeguards.
Yes.
I don't want to have a slide. I just want to have the pool open to swim.
We would do that when we don't have swim lessons scheduled. Yes.
Then how do we get if it's not on our schedule now, how do we get the word out to the public?
So this is what's tricky about pool schedules. So when we look at Redmond, for example, their pool schedule changes every week. And so
it says like 5 a.m. to 9
but then they have all their programming and stuff happening in between that. So, I mean, what part of the benefit of doing the pre-registration for open swims is that it lists all the dates that it's offered and then people can make plans.
That's open swim. I'm talking about family.
Understood.
Lots of toys.
So that's something that we have to look at our website to figure out if it just means we need to update that schedule every 2 weeks, because we would do 2 weeks of swim lessons and then a week of no swim lessons and then 2 weeks. Thank you. So that's something we'll have to look at how to promote that. That's part of what's tricky about the schedule.
Did we want to decide on one, or did we want to see if we get a better schedule to get it open?
That information we will put in the process from the evening swim. And all things. From the evening, this is the evening sessions. And is that the one that I like to make family time when available? On those off weeks when we don't have a swim lessons. Because I can see that anybody can come in over the age of what? To lap swim or independent workout?
14 now.
14.
With the new OHA rules.
From 5 to 7 on Wednesdays and Fridays, and I'm looking at the November now.
So can you repeat again what you want to take fitness classes out of the evening and then instead have family time?
When it's available. Working it in those off weeks, swim lessons and stuff.
So only having fitness in the mornings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Organized fitness. Anybody can come in and do independent workout, like
yes, they can.
If you're 14 and over, anybody can come in your school. Correct?
Correct.
Just to clarify, the fitness classes are vetted land-based as well as aquatics.
We should, because we're not offering land-based anything at this time.
Yeah, it's the strength and conditioning.
So basically that's what the fitness.
Well, the 2 evening classes were going to be strength and conditioning and 45 minutes of that and then 45 minutes.
Okay.
I just think we have gymnasiums around town, whether it costs a little bit, but a person with to strengthening classes and sessions.
And I don't think, for what it's worth, the fitness class, the aquatics fitness class in the evening happens over in the, what we call the danger zone part of the pool. And so we could have family time happening at the same time as that. I don't think it precludes, I don't think having fitness classes precludes having the family time. What makes it challenging to have family time is swim lessons at the same time.
I'd rather see that person's hours go to lifeguarding to keeping the pool open for some different fitness classes. And I'm not against fitness. It's just, I can think of that basics of just having the pool and not paying somebody to give a structured fitness class.
It's so complicated.
And I
We're all here to provide for the fall and the people aren't utilizing it, and even we don't know, like previously when we had the pool open at 7 p.m. on schoolmates.
Well, we can do it the same.
That's what I'm saying.
Look at it, yeah.
Look at it for spring.
So which way do you want to trial?
This was taking us all the way to anyways.
Yeah, offering the family swims.
Instead of,
the fall and winter. And if no one shows up, then allowing the athletic class. Yeah, I just feel like the instructor is quite a draw for that class. I would speak from personal experience. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they did that if given that. But I agree with you, you need to open it up more to families and not add something with this. which adding fitness, aquatics and evening use. So maybe it would go with that.
I think as long as everybody's, you could just say that you want to move to approve the amended the schedule as amended.
As optional.
Yeah.
With the amendment.
Mhm.
And I make a motion that we adopt option A with the slight amendment of removing fitness classes in the evening shifts. Second. And adding family swim time when available.
All in favor? Right, so
Aye.
review. Okay, all again?
Aye. No, I'm not against.
No,
Or I'm abstaining.
Okay.
So Becky abstained. And so it was a 4-0-1 abstention. Thank you.
And now we move on to number 8. Wow. Yeah. Number 8, consider authorizing the executive director to approve expenditures with Servicing Plumbing and Mechanical Incorporated for replacement of domestic water heating system not to exceed $60,000.
So board members, in your packet, you have all the documentation related to requesting quotes. I worked with Frank and with Chris Toman to look at those quotes because I know enough to be dangerous about domestic water systems. And based on the recommendation of Frank, have put together the motion to authorize Severson Plumbing for the project. In your cover memo, there's a picture of what we're talking about, which I hope is helpful. I'm going to pull that up. So this is a picture of our boiler room. The pink arrow is pointing to the domestic water heater that is original to the building and is ready to retire. And then the yellow arrows are pointing to the areas where Severson identified some opportunities potentially for gaining efficiencies and increasing the life cycle of the water heater. From their perspective, the way that it's set up right now is why the water heater died sooner than it may have otherwise. So Frank and I talked about he and I meeting with them before any work commenced to kind of talk through what those options are and try and get the cost down as much as possible. Frank, is there anything you want to add?
An engineer designed it. So, I'll talk with the boiler guys and we'll come to a consensus on that. So look, right there. I can't find that. I have it here.
Right? Yeah, we reached out to get 3 quotes and only 2 were responsive.
Were responsive with each student for 44 and students for 46.
Are you going to share that Chris Toman is actually the one that was communicating with the plumbing company about this because it wasn't Frank for your public records request, it was Frank? No, I'm sorry. I know you don't want me to talk.
Yes,
well, I know, but are you aware? I'm just wondering because that's not true what she just said. So I know.
Thank you for.
Thanks for being. Hello.
You want me to say?
They don't care.
The difference between the 44 and the 46, why are you towards the 46?
Frank, do you want to?
Okay, so the quote from Severson was more complete. BC had left out items such as shipping, quoted some other miscellaneous that I didn't feel needed to be there. We're also going to, if it comes in at the 46, we're going to be able to do the flushing of the hydraulic systems, which will help the pool temperature recover and
a lot more efficient, save us money on gas.
You already told me that.
I will. I have suggested a list of questions to send back to both quarters. And if they answer, and the most responsive for.
Well, and part of the evaluation process, the idea was brought up to do away with the boiler completely and do heat exchanger instead. And I think after discussing it and talking through it, Frank and I both felt it was best to continue with the boiler approach. So that is why we're bringing this to you tonight.
Board members need to speak up into the microphone.
Should be picking it up.
You have to have an engineer, maybe you have to have some changes, permits, all that, and it would be done, wouldn't think of the timeline, you know.
It's more like a long term. Potential for
But where are we at with are we nailed down on 46 exactly, or by the time they get it in, it's gonna be 60?
Well, so the way the quote is written, they gave two options. The first option is just a straight replacement of, let me get down to the straight replacement of the water heater that you see with the pink arrow here. And then the range up to that 59,588 or whatever the exact number was, includes these other yellow arrows that are kind of options for additional efficiencies. And so that's why we're requesting that budget authority approval up to 60,000, with the hope that it's not that much. If needed, yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the 60,000, I'm sorry, the 60,000 is within the budget range, is that correct?
So we have funds budgeted in we have budget authority. Well, let me find it up here. The adopted budget is 60,000 in capital. So the budget authority is there for this project. Yes.
So let me just throw this out there, so you go this route, if something else happens, there's no money then to work at.
We don't have budget authority, so we would come back to the board with a budget adjustment and hopefully be able to identify additional resources and the additional expenditures if something else happens.
Well, I guess what Jane's asking right now is like, would DC Mechanical not want to offer all this other stuff in there with a quote covering the full spectrum of what Severson offered?
They did not identify any additional project needs when they came and did a walkthrough. The way that we requested the quotes is we did a walkthrough with each company for them to look at the system and identify what the needs would be.
So my understanding is that the one with Severson is doing those extra adjustments so that we have energy savings and our boiler doesn't fail as
quickly
as
as
this time.
Correct.
No. Well, that's what I was asking.
Well, you were asking
Okay.
that one. His
Yeah.
time said, so
Okay.
Emerson's base quote replaces the boiler.
Yes.
Okay, the other things are, in my opinion, are not required. The system was engineered, we're changing the engineering to do these other things based on somebody that wants to sell us something.
And I bought the bag of beans. So that's why Frank and I said, well, let's split the difference and we'll talk to them.
Right. So.
About it.
If we have that budget authority, we will, and we can keep the cost of the.
So they might not do that additional work.
Correct.
And if that company, if Severson does replace just the boiler, it'll be the same cost.
The 46.
Yeah.
Yes. And then we would have money to do the flushing of the hydraulic system, which hasn't been done in a while.
Oh. Ever?
Well, that was done when Chuck was here. Isn't that the extra money they're talking about? Yes. To make it the 59? Yes. Okay. And how long is this new boiler supposed to last? What's this one gonna last then?
So life 20 to 30 years.
Boilers like that in this condition will last 18 to 22.
And they have to be maintained, so
Mhm.
you have to have routine boilers to get the nice life out of it.
So how long did the old one last?
It was put in 2006.
And it started failing 2 years ago, so.
Mhm.
That was a board
Under.
electrolyte failure, not a failure through the. That's the boiler.
So now it's just pretty much outdated, that technology.
Yeah, we can't
This is all
find the-
new
can't find the
technology.
boards, they don't bring them.
Oh.
So do you feel the two quotes were comparing apples to apples?
Example, you see, quote, they said. We don't know how much it's gonna cost for shipping, so we're just gonna tell you whatever.
When it comes.
Yeah. So that isn't the way.
And what
Contractors work,
yeah, what do you see was having them for shipping?
they just included the.
They include their price. That's a position I have.
Something that we have. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are talking about the merits and even from the 280.
I guess we need to make a motion.
That's what we do.
With the minutes.
Yeah.
But
Budget authority.
There's a sample motion. There you go.
Oh, yeah, that's the board motion, right?
Water heating system up to exceed $60,000.
That's right. Yeah. A motion is made. Anybody second the motion?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All yes? Yes. Motion made. Now we
She
need.
crippled long as she could. This has been, what, over a year?
It's been a couple years.
Get her fingers and toes crossed.
So, can we go on? Number 9, consider approving resolution number 2026-02 to accept and create and spending authority for unanticipated grant awards.
So you have this resolution is to recognize that the MAC Trust awarded the Recreation District $11,340. Well, it just took me back. Those funds are going to be used for a few different projects. What the resolution does is it puts 3,500 in contractual services, 1,350 in equipment, and 6,490 in furniture. And that is to buy new natatorium tables and stanchions so that we can increase from 1 food area to 3. One of the complaints that we've gotten over the years is that when we rent out for parties, that's the only food space that we have. So the idea is to create 2 party areas and then another area where the general public can have food, all meeting the requirements of Oregon Health Authority for how far away from the water it has to be and, you know, all of the things associated with that. And then they also approved paying for the new signage that we need to get in English and Spanish with all the new rules. I went to them and asked them for any amount that could help us, and they offered to pay for the whole project. So,
This
this is, one of the things they said to me in the meeting was that they're very pleased with the direction of the district to focus in on aquatics, and creating high quality aquatic opportunities for kids and families. So, the request is for the board. I'm so sorry.
Wow.
To approve the resolution. What this does is it amends our budget to allow us to accept that revenue and then spend it.
So where do we propose that these new areas are gonna go?
So we'll have one in this corner, one right here, and then one over in between the two pools underneath where that big vent is that brings in the air.
In between the two pools on the
wall.
on the wall?
Yeah,
So potentially they would be taking food.
potentially.
Yeah.
Yep.
And spend money like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
When the doors are open, yeah. Does this have to go to like budget amendments for that?
No, it's within the board's authority to approve budget adjustments, particularly for unanticipated funding and expenditures.
Well,
Or deny.
I say thank you, Mac Trust, and I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2026-02 to accept and create budget spending authority for the unanticipated grant dollars coming from Mac Trust in the amount of $11,340.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Go ahead and say all.
Yep, you say for, against.
Okay, 4 in favor. It's 4 in favor. Anyone against? 5 in favor.
You were an aye.
Yeah.
I was an aye.
Okay, so, okay.
You back up, the 11-3 is for what?
Gary,
Recreation?
not open comment right now.
I'll
Okay,
pull it up.
back to the meeting.
How do you like furniture, is recommend? No, she just does whatever she wants.
Okay, we're gonna move along.
That's it.
So now I believe that's it. So we are going to adjourn the meeting. We're done
At
at 8:42 p.m. Yes, ma'am.
So
Okay.
Harry. No, you can't review it. No, the Mac.
It's at 11-3.
The Mac Trust gave us, no, the Mac Trust gave us those monies.